Well, hello there, friends. Welcome to Erin G. I'm Erin. Today we are going to do the new moon energy reading for February 2023. So, why don't you go grab a pen and paper so you can jot down your insights as we go through this reading together, and I'll meet you back here. Okay, so if you checked out my monthly reading for February, you would already know that the theme for this month is building a solid foundation, sort of rooting down into, the ground physically, but also sort of like mentally, sort of creating a really stable environment, mind, body, spirit. So the new moon, I do these readings just sort of because we can work with the energies of, the lunar cycle as well. And we can really work on, particularly during the new moon, of starting new projects, reaching new goals or continuing on from previous goals, but sort of having a lot more clarity about where we're going with all of this. So let's first of all look at your current situation, because this is going to help us sort of everything else that follows on from that is going to be directing back to where you're at currently. Okay. All right, let's do that first. So your current situation for the new moon of February is throat chakra. Okay, so we've been using a lot of this energy center. I don't know, this is quite funny. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but a few days ago I ended up with laryngitis. Could barely talk. And it's quite funny that this sort of card has come up. So the throat chakra is all about communicating our truth. It's all about how we hear it as well, sort of in the outside world, what we're willing to absorb and what we're willing to express through the way we speak. Okay, so no doubt you're sort of in that midst of finding your voice. Yeah, sticking up a little bit more about what your values and your beliefs are. And that's pretty cool. So this is where you're at currently. Just going to pop that one down. So new moon wise, we'll sort of keep focusing on that particular card. Let's have a look then at, what's your goal for this month or this lunar cycle? Standing your ground. How funny. Standing your ground. Wowza. So your goal for this month, it's funny how we sometimes think about goals as being something that we actually have to physically do. And this is still like a physical aspect, but it does take a lot of courage and vulnerability in a way to be able to stand up for ourselves and stand your ground and really stand in your truth, which is interesting how, we've got our throat chakra first, your current situation. So maybe this is feeling a little unusual for you. Maybe it's taking a bit of getting used to in actually voicing what you really feel within your heart and kind of like testing the waters, I think. It's sort of like, oh, how's this going to go down? If I say this, how is this going to be received? It may or may not be received very well. However, it's not your, what I'm getting is it's not your responsibility to control how it gets interpreted. I mean, obviously you speak clearly, you speak from the heart, but the way in which that gets interpreted might be totally different depending on who you're talking to. But so standing your ground. So there's energy coming in that means that there will be an opportunity for you to kind of test what it is that you truly believe in, and for you to stand up for that and kind of almost put your hand up and say, hey, that's what I believe in. That's my purpose. That's my goal. That's where I'm going. And take it or leave it, basically. Okay, so let's tune in then. If we've got your goal, let's tune into how you can actually fulfill that. So we've sort of spoken about sort of, opening up the throat chakra. We haven't spoken about that, but I'm speaking about it now. Open up the throat chakra. Oh, we're going so well today. How can you fulfill this goal of standing in your power? I want to say standing your ground, but I feel like it's standing in your power. Throat chakra stuff. How can you fulfill this goal? Ooh, wisdom. Taking stock of what you know, but also being open to receiving information that is almost like inspiration. So being open to universal truths. I think the thing is that if you're not used to following this place, like your heart, pardon me, it can feel a little unusual. But ultimately, the wisdom that you're receiving, this inspiration, I like to call it, does come from this place, from the heart. So, yeah, when you're speaking up, you are basically taking that, you're interpreting what you're gaining in this area, and you're sort of moving it up into this area, the throat chakra, to be able to communicate it out there. I also feel like it's not a bad thing in the slightest to reach out to people who you feel are maybe a few steps ahead of you as well, because they've already sort of paved the path, they've paved the ground, they've been there, they've done that, they've learned the right from the wrong, what worked, what didn't. And so instead of you feeling like you've got to do this all alone, it's really, really good to actually commune with other people who you feel comfortable doing so, and sort of, I don't know, bouncing some ideas around with them as well. Yes. Okay. Let me just sort of see what resources are available to you for this new moon. Okay, passion ignited. This one I always get drawn to, well, not always, but for this particular time, I'm always drawn to like this green area just here in this beautiful, passionate fire that this woman is sort of, feeling. And you can just imagine how that would feel within yourself as well. So your resources aren't necessarily outside of yourself. Your resources that you can tap into is coming from this place. You have the resources of the people around you who are a few steps ahead of you that can kind of bring about some wisdom. And then you've got your intuition as well. Your inner knowing, that's a resource as well. That's where you'll feel it, sort of like in the heart section there as well. So this is your new moon reading. What do you do with it? It's a really good question. For some, pardon me, this particular lunar cycle for this new moon anyway feels quite not necessarily proactive in what we see as what is proactive, like the physical stuff. The new moon for this time feels quite quiet, and it's surprising how these moments that we have where we do stand up and we stand our ground and we relay what we're feeling here rather than what we're feeling here or hearing and thinking, that those moments aren't necessarily big moments. They can be quite small moments, but yet they can be so incredibly substantial in the way that it affects your path, like your purpose and your path. So how does this all kind of point to our theme of February? Well, because our theme is about rooting down into our foundations and building a solid foundation, finding that stability within ourselves. Well, this is all about stability, finding stability in the way we communicate, finding stability in our power and our truth, and being able to express that in a way that it comes across as the way you want it to come across. But also realizing that it's not always your responsibility for the way in which it gets interpreted. People will either be ready to hear what you have to say or they're not ready. And it's what I'm trying to say is, please don't feel like you've got to lower your voice because you're trying to protect their feelings, right? Because then that means that you're ultimately putting everything that you're feeling and you're feeling in your heart on the back burner, and that's not okay either. So let me just do one more card as kind of like a summary, and hopefully you can kind of, obviously this is a collective reading, so hopefully you can take this. You know, I like to sort of say, take what you need, leave the rest. And so there'll be things in this, I'm sure, that you can kind of go, yeah, no, I can see how this is relating to my own personal life. But yeah, collectively, this is what we're all going through too. So that's pretty cool, hey? Base chakra. I'm just going to show you. Base chakra. Base chakra is all about stability, foundation, rooting down. Oh my goodness. So it's like, you know, this beautiful circle, isn't it? That's very cool. So yeah, universe is just like, it's all coming down to base chakra stuff, feeling grounded, feeling like really secure in yourself, secure in what you're saying, how you're communicating, what you're hearing. That's pretty cool. So, alrighty. For this beautiful new moon of February 2023, I encourage you to just listen. You don't always have to speak, but certainly listen. And then if it feels right, then yeah, stand your ground. That's it. So enjoy this beautiful, beautiful lunar cycle, new moon, new beginnings, and yeah, another opportunity for you to sort of step in your power and be your true self. So I hope you found this very insightful, helpful, supportive. And look, if you haven't subscribed to this video, to this channel, I encourage you to do so, because I'm going to continue to do these sorts of readings, which is super exciting. Got some other like little bits and pieces to add too, which is like, ooh, very cool. And again, leave comments as well if you have any questions, or you just want to sort of share how this is going to resonate with you over the next couple of days. That would be amazing. I always love to sort of, you know, read these comments and feel like we're a part of like a bigger community than just feeling like we're doing this all by ourselves. Okay, so I am sending you so much love, so much lunar love. Enjoy your new moon of February, and I will catch you very, very soon. Mwah.